Good day, class. This will serve as our recorded lecture para sa unang topic natin, this midterm. And dadako na tayo ngayon sa Module 2, which is about the basic principles of aerodynamics. So, yung Module 1 natin, yung buong prelim natin, no? Basically, parang introduction pa lang siya. Wala pa tayo nung inaaral ng mga major principles and concepts relating to aerodynamics 1. So, this midterm, since tapos na tayo sa introduction niya, proceed na tayo ngayon sa basic principles na ma-encounter natin in aerodynamics or fundamentals of aerodynamics. So, for Module 2, we have i-divide ko siya sa dalawang part para mas ma-absorb nyo ng maayos yung topics para hindi minamadali, no? So, for part 1, ang learning objectives lang natin in this video, una, yung ma-introduce natin ano ba yung mga types of flow na na-encounter ng isang aircraft when it is flying in a certain altitude. The next, ma-introduce yung mga certain equations, no? So, yung unang tatlong equation na ma-encounter natin sa Module 2 is yung continuity, momentum, and Bernoulli's equation. So later, ipapakita ko yung derivation nila. Pero not necessary na makabisado nyo yung derivations kasi hindi ko naman siya isasama sa quizzes or exam dahil nga medyo may certain parts doon na kailangang gumamit ng basic calculus or integral. Pero since wala naman kayong prerequisite na mga ganong subjects, I don't expect you guys na ma-gets or ma-absorb ng buo yung derivations. But then again, papakita ko lang siya para makita nyo saan ba nanggagaling yung mga equations na ginagamit natin. Okay? Then last, bibigay tayo ng ilang sample problems na practical application na nung mga principles or nung mga equation na ma-encounter natin. So, a good practical example is yung wind tunnel applications natin, okay? So, proceed na agad tayo ngayon sa types of flow. So, when an aircraft is cruising or flying at a certain altitude, merong dalawang main types ng airflow na pwede niyang ma-encounter. First, we have the inviscid. Pag sinabing inviscid, sorry, medyo pangit yung sulat. Pag sinabing inviscid, from the word in and viscid, hindi kino-consider si viscosity ng air natin. And another thing na hindi kino-consider is si friction din. Then, another type, kung meron tayong viscid, syempre, merong viscid or viscous. So, kabaligtaran lang siya ng inviscid. Dito, viscosity is considered as well as friction. Okay? Then, for our discussion today, magpo-focus lang muna tayo sa inviscid flow. Okay? So, under ng inviscid flow, we have two main types pa. We have compressible flow and incompressible flow. Okay, so since focus nga lang muna tayo sa inviscid flow, we need to discuss first ano yung difference ng dalawang type niya. Ano yung pinagkaiba na incompressible sa compressible flow. So, I'm sure familiar naman na kayo sa word na compression, no? So, kung nadidiscuss na or kung alam niyo yung word na tension, forces away from its center, tension. Si compression naman, kabaligtaran, papunta sa gitna. Okay, compression. So, from the word incompressible, ibig sabihin, we are assuming that the fluid, or in our case, yung air or gas na kino-consider natin, cannot be compressed. And kung iisipin nyo, in real life, this is unrealistic. Bakit siya unrealistic? Kasi in real life, for example, isipin nyo sa isang injection. Alam nyo yung injection, no? Tapos tinanggal nyo yung talim niya sa dulo. Yan, diba? May pwede mong i-press. Pag hinatak mo itong part na yan, hihigop to ng hangin. Then, let's say, tinakpan nyo to ng daliri nyo. Pag pinush down nyo to, although nakatakip at walang lumalabas na hangin doon sa end part niya, napupush down pa rin to. No? So, ano nangyayari sa hangin na nasa loob niya? Nako-compress. No? So, parang tubig din. Nako-compress din ng tubig. The same lang siya sa hangin. So, any type of fluid, ang point doon is, yun nga, any type of fluid can be compressed. So, sir, bakit tayo merong incompressible flow? In real life pala, lahat ng fluid, especially gases, are compressible. So, in incompressible flow kasi, we are dealing with air speeds. Velocity is less than or equal to 100 meters per second. So, pag incompressible flow, tandaan nyo na ang velocity na kino-consider natin ay less than or equal to 100 meters per second. So, in this scenario kasi, kapag ang airspeed natin ay less than or equal to 100 meters per second, yung density ng air during its flow over the aircraft, sobrang liit ng change niya to the point na nagiging insignificant siya. So, hindi na natin siya, so kung ina-assume natin na insignificant yung change ng density, we can say na constant lang yung density ng air. No? So, from the equation of state, P equals rho RT. When your density is constant, ano mangyayari sa pressure mo? Given na constant din si temperature and si specific gas constant, letter R, magiging constant lang din si pressure. And si compression, isang type siya ng pressure, tama? So, when we assume na constant si density in this airspeed, we can say na our gas is incompressible. Pagdating naman sa Mach number, incompressible siya when your Mach number is less than 0.3. So, tandaan nyo, walang equal sign. Hindi siya less than or equal to. So, less than 0.3 lang. Okay? So, again, tandaan. Naalala pa ba yung sinabi ko before? Anong formula ng Mach number? Mach number is equal to your airspeed over, or your velocity over the speed of sound. So, ito, madidiscuss pa natin siya in the next modules pa. Pero good to know lang to kasi possible na magbigay ako sa problem na hindi naka-velocity yung given, naka-Mach number. So, ito yung kailangan yung tandaan doon. Kapag yung Mach number ng isang aircraft ay less than 0.3, pasok siya sa incompressible flow. Okay? Then again, sa incompressible flow, si density is constant. Tandaan niya na. Ngayon, kung may incompressible, proceed tayo sa compressible. So, kabaligtaran lang siya. Dito, fluid can be compressed. Ito ay realistic. Kasi nga, tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, all types of fluid, gases man yan or liquid, it is compressible. And dito, kung kanina sa incompressible, velocity is less than or equal to 100 meters per second. Dito naman, velocity is greater than 100 meters per second. And your Mach number is greater than or equal to 0.3. Dito, density is no longer constant. Okay, so tandaan niyo mga yan. Kasi, when, during exam, siguro exam nyo naman counter yun, hindi indicated sa problems kung incompressible ba siya or compressible. No? So, since magkaiba sila, yung formula nila, syempre, magkaiba rin. And kung mali, yung formula na gagamitin mo, for example, sa problem, incompressible dapat ang gagamitin mo, ginamitan mo ng pang-compressible na formula, syempre, mali na yung sagot mo. So, paano nyo malalaman kung incompressible or compressible yung formula na kailangan nyo gamitin? Tandaan nyo yung mga concept na binigay ko dito. No, so, kabisaduhin nyo yan. Kailangan nyo yung kabisaduhin. Kailangan nyo lang kabisaduhin dyan siguro mostly itong dalawa. Kasi yan yung mga given lagi, yung velocity. So, pag sinabing velocity ay 100 meters per second, incompressible or compressible? Incompressible kasi dito siya pasok sa less than or equal to 100. Pag sinabing Mach number is 0.3, saan siya pasok? Dito sa compressible. So, doon lang kayo wag malilito, okay? The next, kung kanina, na distinguish natin ano yung pinagkaiba ng incompressible and compressible flow. This time naman, proceed tayo sa law of continuity. Sa law of continuity, kung alam niyo yung term sa thermodynamics na mass cannot be created nor destroyed. So, yan lang yung ibig sabihin ng law of continuity. Kaya ang ibang tawag sa kanya ay law of conservation of mass. So, for example, meron tayong tube dito na nagsimula sa maliit na butas papunta sa malaki. Let's say, sa hose na yan or sa tube na yan, nagpasok ka ng 1 kilogram na tubig, expect mo na dapat ang lalabas sa kanya ay 1 kilogram din. Kasi nga, your mass cannot be created nor destroyed. So, yun nga, pag nag-input ka ng 1 kilogram na tubig sa isang hose, expect mo na ang lalabas sa kanya ay 1 kilogram pa rin. No? From this concept, we can derive a certain equation na tinatawag nating continuity equation. So, let's derive it. Tingnan muna natin yung point 1. Ito. Yung inlet. At point 1, meron kang A1, meron kang V1 at rho 1. Si A1 stands for your initial area. So, kung titingnan nyo, area yan ng circle. Then, si V1, yun yung initial velocity. Yung yung velocity ng pagdaloy ng tubig or ng fluid mo doon sa hose mo or sa tube. Then, si density 1, or si rho sub 1 stands for the initial density ng tubig mo. Okay? Or ng fluid mo. Then, Kay point 2 naman, tingnan natin. Nandyan si A2, V2, and si Rho sub 2. Okay? Ngayon, tingnan natin tong certain portion na to. Para siyang, cylinder, no? Si V1, nagkaroon siya ng katabi na dt. Ano ibig sabihin ng dt? Ano ibig sabihin ni d? Delta t or change in time. Kasi, syempre, for your fluid to go from point 1 up to here, ko-consume siya ng oras. So, meron kang change in time. So, kung may cylinder ka, ganito yung magiging tsura niyan. Ito ay si A1. Yung area ng circle mo. A1, then yung height ay V1 dt. Tama? Ano ulit formula ng volume ng cylinder? Volume yung makukuha mo dyan, di ba? Formula ng volume ay area times height. In this case, A1 times V1 dt. Okay? Then, volume yan. Alam natin na ang formula ng volume from density is equal to mass over volume. Isolate natin, volume is equal to mass over density. Or kung kukuhain natin si mass is equal to density times your volume. Applying this equation dito, we'll end up with your change in mass is equal to density times A1 V1 dt, or simply rho A1 V1 dt. Pero again, from this concept that mass cannot be created nor destroyed, we can say that your initial mass here should also be equal to your mass dito. Kasi nga, mass cannot be created nor destroyed. So, we can say that initial mass is equal to your final mass, and it is constant, or letter C. We can say na mass sub 1 is equal to your change in mass over your change in time. It will equal to rho A1 V1 dt over dt. Cancelled. The same goes for your final mass. dm over dt rho A2 V2 dt over dt. Okay? May sub 1 pala yan. Ngayon, kung equal sila, pwede nating equate itong equation na yan dito. Or simply, rho 1 A1 V1 is equal to rho sub 2 A sub 2 V sub 2. Okay? Huwag kakalimutan na, yung V na yan, yung hindi maarting V, velocity yan. Kapag gantong maarte yung V mo, volume yan. So, in this one, yung letter V dyan ay velocity. Etong equation na to, yung tinatawag nating continuity equation. Remember, itong mga ma-encounter nating mga formula and equation ngayon, lahat sila ginagamit lang kapag ang flow na kino-consider natin ay inviscid flow. Tandaan nyo na, hanggang inviscid pa lang tayo ngayon. Hindi pa natin kino-consider yung viscosity and friction. Okay, so tandaan to si continuity equation. The next, proceed naman tayo sa momentum equation. Kung maaalala nyo, yung hydrostatic equation, dinerive natin siya from this type of figure rin, kung naaalala nyo, 'di ba? Pero doon, kino-consider natin yung vertical pressure or forces. Dito yung kino-consider natin nun, 'di ba? Ganyan. Tama? Pero in this time naman, since ang kino-consider natin is yung airflow na pasalubong sa isang object, horizontal forces yung i-consider natin. So, i-analyze muna natin yung diagram isa-isa. On the left side, we have our initial pressure, symbolized by capital letter P. And on the right side, we have our second pressure, symbolized by P plus delta P over delta X multiplied by delta X. So, ibig sabihin lang yan, your change in pressure per your change in your lateral axis or yung x-axis natin multiplied by your x-axis, si dx nga. Then, for our lateral axis, we have dx. Then, for our horizontal axis, we have dz. And for our vertical axis, we have dy. No? So, again, given tayo dito ng pressures. Si initial pressure and or si first pressure number 1 and pressure number 2. Kung babalikan natin, pressure, anong formula ni pressure? Pressure is equal to force over area. Again, ang gusto nating ma-consider si force. So, force is equal to pressure times area. Tama? Ngayon, kung tatandaan natin, pressure is equal to force over perpendicular area. So, kung titignan natin to, tong arrow na to, or yung pressure natin, ano yung perpendicular area niya? Dito siya perpendicular. Hindi pala nakikita, sorry. Ito yung perpendicular area niya. Yang rectangle na yan. The same goes for this pressure. Ito rin yung area or perpendicular area na kino-consider natin. Okay? So again, since nasa loob lang siya ng cube, sarado yung cube natin, hindi dapat masisira. Dapat, ang summation or yung net force natin should be equal to 0. And ang orientation natin, forces pointing to the right are positive and forces pointing to the left ay negative. Okay? So, 0 or our net force should be equal to 0 is equal to, from the left, simulan natin dito. Since force nga yung gino-consider natin, force is equal to pressure times area. So, pressure niya ay P times, ano yung area niya? Ito, dz times dy. Tama? Ganun lang naman yung area ng rectangle, di ba? Length times width lang. Or in this case, length times height. So, pwede natin sulat as dy times dz. Positive siya. Bakit? Siya ay pointing to the right. Ngayon, yung sunod na pressure naman, negative dahil going to the left. Sulat muna natin yung value ng pressure. P plus dp over dx times dx multiplied by the perpendicular area na dy dz rin. Okay? Then, following or simplifying the equation further, is equal to P dy dz minus P times dy dz. So, minus P dy dz. Ito, since nasa loob siya ng parenthesis, tong part na to, magiging, yung sign convention niya, since negative, magiging kabaligtaran. So, magiging minus rin. Negative dp over dx times dx, multiply mo pa yan dito. So, dy dz. Okay? So, basic algebra lang yan ha. I hope medyo kahit pa paano sa part na to nakakasabay pa kayo. Okay? So, ito, parehas sila. Pinag-subtract. So, therefore, cancel out lang sila. Your net force, therefore, is equal to negative dp over dx times dx dy dz. Okay? So, yan yung equation number 1 natin. Yan yung summation ng forces. Ngayon, we also need to recall ano pang isang formula ng force. Force is equal to mass times acceleration. So, dito, hindi given yung mass. Kasi again, may hangin sa loob yan. No? May hangin sa loob yan. Kung may hangin sa loob, meron kang mass. Pero hindi rin given si acceleration. Now, kung may hangin ka sa loob, ang pwede nating makuha ay volume, no? Tama, volume. Kasi given ka ng tatlong sides. So, sa rectangle, sa cube, alam natin paano kuhain yung volume nun. Length times width times height. So, from the formula, ano ba yung formula natin na may volume? Si density. Mass over volume. Ang concern natin ay si mass. So, therefore, mass is equal to density times volume. So, simplify natin. Mass is equal to rho times dx times dy dz. Tama? Yun lang naman yung length, width, saka height na itong cube natin eh. So, yun lang yung volume niya. Then next, si acceleration. Ano bang formula ng acceleration? Your change in velocity over your change in time. Sir, paano to? V tsaka dv over dt siya. Paano natin siya ma-apply dito sa initial formula or equations natin na merong dx, dy, dz? Pwede tayo mag-multiply dyan ng dx over dx. Again, sa isang equation, pwede mong i-modify yan ng kahit ano. Basta, tandaan nyo lang na kapag nag-modify kayo, yung final value ng equation mo hindi dapat magbabago. In this case, nag-multiply tayo ng dx over dx. Ano ba yan? Kapag x over x, anong value niyan? 1 lang yan, di ba? Equal lang yan sa 1. So, in this time, or in this equation, nag-multiply tayo ng dx over dx, pero ang ibig sabihin niya lang din talaga, nag-multiply lang tayo ng 1. So, hindi nagbago yung value na equation natin. So, pwede yung gawin. Then, we can rewrite this as dv over dx times dx over dt. Okay? Sana nakasunod pa. Pinagpalit ko lang yung tong dalawang to. Same value lang yan. Pero itong si dx over dt or your change in a measurement, change in length over your change in time, velocity lang din yan. So, we can rewrite this as dv over dx times velocity. Okay? So, meron na tayong acceleration, meron na tayong mass, pwede natin makuha si force. Force is equal to your mass na rho dx dy dz multiplied by your acceleration na dv over dx times velocity. Okay? So, meron tayong pangalawang equation. Then again, from the concept ng algebra na if A is equal to B and A is equal to C, therefore, B is equal to C. So, parehas silang F. Pareha silang, ito yung A natin, ito yung B, ito yung C. Therefore, B is equal to C. Negative dP over dx, dx, dy, dz is equal to rho dx, dy, dz times dv over dx times your velocity. Okay? So, looking at this equation pa lang, maka-cancel na to. Yan, cancel na yan. Kasi pag dinivide mo, di ba? Maka-cancel. Ano pa maka-cancel? Si dx din. Pareha sila nga sa denominator. Ang matitira sa atin, your negative change in pressure is equal to your density times your density times your velocity multiplied by your change in velocity. Kung gusto natin negative yung nasa kaliwa, we can rewrite this as ganyan. Tama? Nag-multiply lang tayo ng negative 1 both sides. Ito ngayon yung tinatawag natin na ayaw mabox. Wait lang. Euler's equation. No? So, sinasabi lang sa Euler's equation na when you have a positive change in pressure, you'll end up with a negative change in your velocity. Kaya nga, isang importanteng concept sa aerodynamics that pressure and velocity are inversely proportional to each other. Meaning, when your velocity increases, pressure decreases. When your velocity decreases, pressure increases. Okay, so tandaan nyo na, pressure and velocity are inversely proportional to each other. Napakita natin yon sa Euler's equation. Okay?